Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen has announced that all men will be required to serve 1 year's military service. The announcement came after China carried out one of its biggest incursions to date in the seas and skies around Taiwan on Sunday, with fighter jets and warships deployed around the island. The Taiwanese leader said it was needed to counter the growing military pressure Beijing is exerting on Taiwan, which it regards as an integral part of China.
The
current 4-month military training service system cannot provide sufficient troops or frequency of training to cope with the rapidly changing combat situation and satisfy the need for combat readiness. After 2 years of complete assessment and review, considering the demand for troops in the new strategic structure, we have decided to restore the 1-year compulsory military service from 2024, applicable to male draftees born after January the 1st, 2005.
For more on this, we're joined now by Ben Blanchard, who is Taiwan bureau chief for Reuters. He joins us from Oxford here in the UK. Ben, thank you for your time today. Give us the reaction, first of all, to news of this extended military service.
Well, it's been something that the president has been discussing with her top security officials for quite a while now, so it wasn't exactly a surprise. We knew that it was going to come before the end of the year. This is something that really has bipartisan support in Taiwan. Both the ruling party and the main opposition party do understand the need to strengthen Taiwan's defenses, especially in the face of China's stepped-up military activities and what Taiwan calls a clear and present danger, that threat from China to the democracy that is Taiwan.
So bipartisan support, does it have widespread public support as well?
Well, again, the military conscription in Taiwan is something that has happened ever since 1949, since the defeated Republic of China government fled Taiwan. So this is something that the vast majority of Taiwanese men have grown up with. It's not a new system. And the point I would make that going back to 1 year, this is different from South Korea, for example. So South Korea obviously faces its own hostile neighbor in the form of North Korea. In South Korea, though, it's an 18-month conscription system. So going from 4 months back to 1 year, it's not as severe as South Korea. And as I say, this is something that the threat from China is something that everybody is very, very well aware of in Taiwan. And there is definitely a wide social consensus that Taiwan does need to strengthen its defenses.
And of course, we saw China's presence very much on Monday, didn't we? President Tsai was talking about Taiwan being on the front line of authoritarian expansion. So Taiwan is really feeling that pressure, isn't it?
Yeah, so certainly for the last 2 years or so, China has been carrying out almost daily incursions into Taiwan's ADIZ, as they call it, the Air Defense Identification Zone around Taiwan. So obviously this really stepped up in early August when China carried out war games near Taiwan. So this was just after the then US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan. So that was very, very dramatic. That was, they were firing missiles over Taipei. There were warships that came very, very close to the Taiwanese coast. Since then, the military activities have continued, so Taiwan is well accustomed to this. But certainly Taiwan's military has strained, especially the Air Force, which has to scramble almost on a daily basis to go and see off and warn away these Chinese warplanes. So it's something that on the ground in Taiwan, there's no sense of panic. You have to remember Taiwan has lived with the threat of Chinese invasion ever since 1949. That's not something that's gone away. And of course, China has never renounced the use of force to bring Taiwan under its control. And this is something that President Xi Jinping, when he talks about Taiwan, he mentions this.
OK, Ben, thank you very much for your analysis. Ben Blanchard, Taiwan bureau chief for Reuters.